Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Emily Nordman and I am the first year lead and incoming Deputy Director of Education here in the School of Psychology and Neuroscience at the University of Glasgow. So in this video, I am going to give you a brief overview of the structure and curriculum of our Level 1 psychology programme in particular, as well as just a little bit of information about our psychology degrees more generally. So there's actually a number of different psychology degrees that we offer. Some of you may have applied to us to do a BSc psychology degree. Some of you may have applied to do an MA, and some of you may be coming to us to do an MA Psych. And the differences in these degrees are actually nothing to do with the psychology. In all of these degrees, you will get taught the same psychological content. You'll have the same assessments. And we don't distinguish between our students from different degree programs during your time here. I think you get a slightly different coloured gown at graduation, but we don't make any distinction. Instead, the difference comes in the other subjects that you will be studying. So part of the Scottish university system is curriculum breadth. So at level 1 and 2, you don't just study your degree majors. You won't just be studying psychology. Even if you've come to us on a single honours degree, the Scottish system is that you also study elective subjects. What those elective subjects are depends on which route you're coming to us through. So if you're coming to us with a BSc for example, from our Life Sciences College, then you will be doing subjects like biology and chemistry alongside psychology. Whereas if you're coming to us on an MA, then it might be things like French or history. And if you're coming to us on the social sciences degree, then you might be studying things like economics or sociology. And we offer a range of joint degrees depending upon which program you're in. Importantly, all of our degrees, regardless of whether it's BSc or MA, and regardless of whether or not it's single honours or joint honours, all of our degrees are accredited by the British Psychological Society, which gives you the graduate basis for accreditation, which means you can go on to study, at, for example, postgraduate level, if you're looking at becoming, a psychologist or an academic or anything like that. All of our degrees are accredited. Our graduates are an extremely diverse bunch. The study of psychology really is the study of mind and behaviour, but basically what you're going to learn in your time with us here is how to work with people and how to work with data. And that makes you incredibly flexible graduates with very, very transferable skills to a lot of different industries. So our graduates have gone on to applied psychology professions. So these are the ones that, people will think of when you stereotypically think of a psychologist, things like clinical psychology, educational psychology, forensic psychology, and so on. But we also see an increasing number of our graduates go on to do data science jobs. It's becoming it already is a very, very large industry, and the data skills and the programming that you're going to learn as part of your degree actually open up a real range of employability options. We, of course, have people who stay with us in research, going on to do masters and postgraduate PhD level training and research. We have a lot of students go into teaching, both at primary and secondary levels. And also things like government and policy making are also, and the third sector charity work and so on, are very popular routes for our graduates. But as I said, there's so much more than that. A psychology degree really does give you the flexibility and the skills, more importantly, to go on to a wide range of careers. And our focus at Glasgow really is about developing your skills. In any open day, it's every psychology degree will teach you a certain set of stuff. Every psychology degree is going to teach you about developmental psychology and cognitive psychology and so on, because it's part of the BPS curriculum. What we believe sets us out at Glasgow is the skill development that you'll learn here. So things like, your ability to work in a group, to communicate in various different formats, not just essays and exams, but, kind of public engagement, blogs, videos, presentations, that kind of thing. And we really try to build this in through authentic assessment. So we aren't just going to give you, essays to do. We're going to, make sure that you have a range of different formats so you can actually use your skills in a very authentic way. In terms of the degree structure, so I mentioned earlier that as part of the Scottish system that you will study other subjects. So how that breaks down in a little bit more detail is that at each level of study, you're going to take 120 credits worth of courses. So at level 1, you're going to study Psychology 1A in the first semester and Psychology 1B in the second semester. And those courses are both worth 20 credits, which means you have 80 credits from elective courses. And really what this means in reality is that alongside psychology, you're going to take 2 other courses in first year. In second year, Psychology 2A and Psychology 2B are each worth 30 credits. So they're slightly bigger courses, and that means that you'll be studying 60 credits worth of courses from your elective subjects, which in reality translates to 1 other course. Typically, what many students will do is that they will take like a plan B course. So for example, if you're coming to us on the MA in social science, you might want to study psychology and sociology in both first year and second year. And the great thing about the Scottish system is it gives you that flexibility. So at the end of second year, if you've taken all of the courses in both psychology and sociology, you would have the option of doing a single honours psychology degree, a single honours sociology degree, or a joint honours psychology and sociology degree. So it does give you that flexibility. At level 3 and 4, you then specialise in your honours subject, in your degree subject. So if you're a single honours psychology student, then it becomes all about psychology. There are core courses that we offer that are part of our BPS accredited programme. So for example, cognitive, human development, individual differences. But we also have a number of elective options that you can study at level 3 and 4. So for example, we have a course on autism, a course on AI, social robotics, and things like that. If you're a joint honours student, then the courses at level 3 and 4 obviously look a little bit different because you'll be doing the core courses for psychology and then the core courses for your joint honours programme. But obviously what happens will depend on exactly what joint honours combination you are taking. So to get into a little bit of specifics about the level 1 course and what it's going to look like. So in the first year, you're going to have 3 psychology lectures a week on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays in the current timetable. And in the first semester, you're going to study research methods, biological psychology, and cognitive psychology. And we have a 10-week course, and we have a week in the middle for reading week. So in week 6, I believe it is, there's no lectures or labs. And instead, it's an opportunity to catch up, to do some preparatory reading for the second half of the semester, and just to kind of, take a breath and consolidate. We know that the first few weeks of first year are going to be quite full on. In the second semester, again, it's the same 3 one-hour lectures a week, and you'll be studying, again, research methods, social and development psychology, and mental health and well-being. I should also note that all of the lectures for level 1 psychology will be recorded. We know that lecture recordings hugely benefit students with learning disabilities, but also students who don't have English as a first language. But also they just add in a little bit of flexibility for everyone. Sometimes there will be unavoidable absences, illness, caring responsibilities, and so on, which means you can't make class. It's always good to have that plan B. We will also say, though, that lecture attendance is expected. We are an on-campus university, and having you with us in the classroom is one of our great joys. It's something that we've very much missed over the last couple of years. So you are expected to attend, but the recordings will be there should you need that plan B. In addition to the lectures, you will also have a weekly lab. where we'll focus on academic writing and data skills. So you're going to be learning programming using the programming language R, and we're also going to be working on, how to write an academic essay, how to look for academic evidence, and so on. So the weekly lab will have up to 50 students in a room, but you'll also work in a smaller group of 6 throughout the semester. And there's a small group project at the end with 5% of your overall course grade. But really, the point of working in groups is so you can get to know other students and make friends throughout the course. In terms of the assessments, we've really tried to ensure that we have a breadth of different assessment types, because we know that everyone has their different preferences, different strengths. So we've tried to really kind of diversify what we offer. So there is a end of term exam, which is worth 40%, and this is going to assess your knowledge of the lecture content throughout term, and it will be a multiple choice exam. We also have an essay that's worth 35%, and that essay will be fully supported through all the labs. So we'll go through, how to do academic writing, referencing, everything like that will be quite slowly built up in the labs and supported. And that is kind of quite a traditional academic essay that you've probably been used to at school or college or whatever. The remaining 25% is made up of what we call the lab portfolio. And this is lots of kind of small stakes assessments that run continuously throughout the semester. So it will be things like very short quizzes, data skills, homeworks, as I said, a small group project at the end, and then also participating in research. Each of these things is worth a very small percentage, that they're worth, kind of 2, 3, 4, 5% of your grade. And they're in there to try and, encourage working consistently throughout term, to give you a sense of how you're getting on before the final exam, and so on, and really just to make sure that you're kind of continuously engaged with the course. In terms of textbooks, we really believe in open educational resources in psychology and neuroscience. It's not always possible to provide sources that are open access and free, but when we can, we certainly do try. So I'm delighted that for level 1, a year ago, we switched to using open access textbooks. So there is no expensive textbook that you have to buy for us. Instead, we use a combination of these 2 textbooks, OpenStax and NOBA, and they are freely available online. You can download a PDF. I do believe you can also buy a hard copy of these textbooks if you'd really like something physical, but they are available free of charge. For our data skills work, we also have an online textbook that we ourselves have written. And actually, our materials are used all around the world. It's something we're very proud of. But again, it is all open access. So you can go and have a look at what you'll be reading and what you'll be working through now for free. In addition to the skills and our data skills and our open educational resources, one of the things we're proudest of in psychology is our community. And we do have quite a heavy social media presence. So please do follow us on Instagram and Twitter. But there's also a few Facebook groups. So there's the Community Hub, which is for all staff and students. And we also have a very active psychology society as well. Please do give them a follow. They're on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. In addition to our social media presence, we also have a number of different networks that are also there to promote inclusivity. So we have the University of Glasgow Neurodiversity Network, which is a network for across the university, but actually was formed by one of our colleagues in psychology, Dr. Chiara Holland. We have the LGBTQ Psychology Network, which I run, and that meets once a month. But we also offer things like Rainbow Office Hours, where you can come and talk to an LGBTQ member of staff. And finally, we also have our Race and Equality Network run by Dr. Zeba Ghazali Mohammed, and they have social events, academic events, and so on. So that's the end of this presentation. If you do have any questions, please do get in touch either on Facebook or via email. And there is more information available via the SWAY document, which I'll also share on the Facebook group. We can't wait to meet you in person, and we hope that you are as excited as we are that you'll be joining us.